Hey guys, welcome to my channel for yet another episode in this series of solving Save My Exams papers. We're going to do the same series, except the question paper is going to be different. It's question paper 2 this time. So let's just get started. So the first question is about sets and set notation. So you can see here in the Venn diagram, universal is children in a nursery, B is children who received a book for their birthday, T is children who received a toy for their birthday, P is children who received a puzzle for their birthday. X children received a book and a toy and a puzzle. 6 children received a toy and a puzzle. Part A. 4 children received a book and a toy. 5 children received a book and a puzzle. 7 children received a puzzle but not a book and not a toy. Complete the Venn diagram above. So this data needs to be placed in the Venn diagram. So 4 children received a book and a toy. A book and a toy is shared, so it should fall in this intersection. So we're going to write 4 minus x. The reason we write minus x is so that we can follow the trend. The trend here is that 6 children received a toy and a puzzle, and it says 6 subtract x. So we're going to do the same thing. So 4 subtract x. So 5 children received a book and a puzzle. 5 children received a book and a puzzle. It should fall under this intersection, B and P's intersection. Again, we'll use the same trend. 5 subtract x. 7 children received a puzzle but not a book and not a toy. So not a book and not a toy should fall only in the P circle, and therefore it is this one right here. 7 falls alone and is not shared among any of them, and so falls alone here. Now, part B. There are 40 children in the nursery. Using the Venn diagram, write down and solve an equation in X. When they say there are 40 children in the nursery, that means that adding all of this together should give us 40. So 11 plus 4 minus x plus 9 plus 6 minus x plus 5 minus x plus 7 plus 4 should give us 40. So 11 plus 4 plus 6 plus 5 plus 7 plus 4 plus 9 is 46. So negative x minus x plus x is, so basically negative x minus x, is negative 2x. Negative 2x plus x is negative x. Negative x minus x is negative 2x. So that becomes 46 minus 2x is equal to 40. We're going to take 46 and move it to the other side. So negative 2x is equal to 40 minus 46. 40 minus 46 is equal to negative 6. So negative 2x is equal to negative 6. Divide both sides by negative 2 and we should get that x is equal to 3. Work out the probability that the child chosen random received a book but not a toy and not a puzzle. So the way we calculate probability is we take sample size over the total number of children here. So the sample size is basically what the question tells us. How many children received a book but not a toy and not a puzzle? Children that received a book and not a toy and not a puzzle are 9, and the total number of children is 40. So the probability is 9 over 40. Now, the number of children who received a book and a puzzle but not a toy. The children who received a book and a puzzle but not a toy are 5 minus x. Now the value for x we got was 3. So we're just going to do 5 minus 3, and so the number of children is 2. Find the number of elements basically, so the total in B. So B as in, like, we need to go back to the Venn diagram and look at the circle B. So I need to add whatever is in the circle together. So 9 plus 4 minus x, so 4 minus 3. So 9 plus 1 plus 3 plus 2. So 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 plus 3 plus 2 is 13 plus 2. And 13 plus 2 is 15. And 15 is your answer. Now, find the number of elements in B union P. B union P meaning combine B and U together and add whatever is inside together. So we know that whatever is inside the circle B is 15. So 15 now plus 6 minus x, which is 3. So it's 15 plus 3 plus 7, which is 15 plus 10. And 15 plus 10 is 25. Now, coming to this other one. Find the number of elements in B union T, union P, complement. So B union T, union P is basically combine these 3 circles, and then apostrophe stands for basically combine the circles, and then whatever is outside the circles is what is required. Is the data required basically. So combining all of this together, and the only thing that's not well combined is this 4. It's not involved. And so 4 is your answer for that question. Part E. Shade the region B intersection, open bracket, T union P, close bracket, complement. So what we need to do first is solve what's in the bracket. So T union P basically means T and P, the two circles combined. Now complement meaning whatever's outside the circles. So these three mini sections, 1, 2, and 3. Now B intersection, this means remove these three from B. Imagine these were not in B. Now what is left from the Venn diagram? So this, and this are not there. So what we shade? We just shade this part because that's the only thing left. Now question 2. We have this diagram thing. In the scale drawing, P is a port, L is a lighthouse, and S is a ship. The scale is 2 centimeters, represents 3 kilometers. Measure the bearing of S from P. So how do you measure a bearing? To measure a bearing, you need to have a protractor in this case, because, well, you need to measure something. Now, what do they mean by say measure the bearing of S from P? They say they want you to measure the distance from this north line of P to the line of S, P. So this degree here is your answer. Using a protractor, I received 46 degrees as the bearing. Now we need to write the answer in bearing format. In order to write in bearing format, we need to have a 3-digit figure. So we need to add a 0 in front and then 46 and then place the degree sign. So the bearing is 046 degrees. Part B. Find the actual distance of S from L. So the actual distance, basically you need to first know the measured distance. So what do we measure? We need to measure from here to here. Using a ruler, I received the distance as 8.6 centimeters. Now how do we convert this to actual distance, you may say? We use the scale. The scale is 2 centimeters is 3 kilometers. So 8.6 centimeters would equal what? Cross multiply. 8.6 times 3 over 2. So the actual distance is 12.9 kilometers. Part C. The bearing of L from S is 160 degrees. Calculate the bearing of S from L. So now we have our forward bearing as over here. This is our forward bearing. Now, in order to find the backward bearing, we either take the forward bearing and add 180 or subtract 180. This is case dependent. So if our forward bearing is less than 180, we'll add 180 to it. But if our forward bearing is greater than 180 degrees, we'll subtract 180 from it. Let's repeat this. So if your forward bearing, in this case 160 degrees, is less than 180 degrees, you're going to add 180 degrees to it. But if it is greater than 180 degrees, you're going to subtract 180 degrees from it. In this case, it is less than. So we're going to take 160 degrees and add 180 degrees. So adding these two should give us a backward bearing of 340 degrees. Part D. Work out the scale of the map in the form 1 to n. 1 to n basically means, number 1, put them in the same unit. Number 2, the first thing in the ratio should be number 1. So to do that, we need to first write down our actual scale. 2 centimeters is 3 kilometers. We need to make the first part of it, which is the centimeter thing, into 1. How do we do that? Divide both sides by 2. So dividing both sides by 2 would mean 1 centimeter is 1.5 kilometers. So now we need to take this kilometers and convert it into centimeters. We'd use the conversion scale. So 1 kilometer is 100,000 centimeters. So what would 1.5 kilometers be? Cross multiply and we should get that 1.5 kilometers is 150,000 centimeters. Rewrite that instead of 1.5 kilometers and you should get your scale to be 1:150,000. That's how you write the scale of the map in the form 1 to n. The lighthouse stands on an island of area 1.5 centimeters squared on the scale drawing. Work out the actual area of the island. So the first thing we want to do is write down our scale. 2 centimeter is 3 kilometer. The scale is very important in math questions. So now what we want to do next is we want to make an area scale. So area is represented with a square. Okay. So now in order to make an area scale, we're going to square both sides. We're going to square the 2 centimeters and we're going to square the 3 kilometers. So 2 centimeters, when we square this, we should get 4 centimeters squared is equal to, square this part, equals to 9 kilometers squared. So how many kilometers squared would 1.5 centimeters squared equal? So we're going to cross multiply. So 1.5 times 9 over 4. So 1.5 times 9 is 6. 6 divided by 4 is 3.375 kilometers squared. Sorry, this is 1.5 times 9 is not 6, sorry, that's a mistake. That is 45, 9 plus 9 times 1, 9 plus 4, 13.5 over 4 is 3.375 kilometers squared. Jane and Kate share $240 in the ratio 5 to 7. This is the third question for your information. Show that Kate receives $140. So in a ratio question, the first thing we want to do is add the ratios. So what we want to do is take 5 and add 7. We should get 12. Now what we want to do is take 7 because 7 is representing Kate. Take 7 over the 12. 7 is basically your sample size. Take 7 over 12, multiply by 240, and basically you should get $140. This is Kate's share. If you do not get $140, this means that there's an error in your working, because the question clearly states that your answer must amount to 140. Failure to amount to this amount means that you have not really done your working properly and you really need to recheck. If you didn't get 140, I hope you redo the question and hopefully get it again. Get the correct answer, I mean. Part B. Jane and Kate each spend $20. Find the new ratio, Jane's remaining money to Kate's remaining money. Give your answer in its simplest form. So what we want to do first is rewrite Jane's original amount. We want to find Jane's original amount. So how do you do that? We could take 5 over 12 multiplied by 240, or we could take the total amount, subtract the amount of Kate. So I can see that there's a number missing here. This is 4. I apologize for the fact that the number has disappeared. So what we want to do is we want to write 240 minus 140. That means that Jane got $100. Since they each spent $20, we need to remove $20 from their amount. So we take 100 subtract 20, ratio 140 subtract 20. You may ask, why am I writing this in the ratio Jane to Kate? This is because the question asks so. So 100 minus 20 is 80. 140 minus 20 is 120. So what's common in both of them? We need to simplify it because they say give your answer in its simplest form. So we can divide both sides by 40. 80 divided by 40 is 2 and 120 divided by 40 is 3. So the simplest ratio is 2:3. Kate invests $120 for 5 years at 4% per year simple interest. Calculate the total amount Kate has after 5 years. First, understand one thing. When you use the simple interest formula, it only shows you the amount you receive. Now, in order to get the total amount, you need to take your principal amount and add the amount you receive. So let's first find the amount you receive. We should use the formula PRT over 100. P for principal, R for rate, and T for time. So the principal is 120 multiplied by the rate, which is 4, multiplied by the time, which is 5 years, over 100. So this gives us an answer of $24. This is the amount you receive due to interest. Now this is not the total. The total is taking your principal amount, adding the amount you just received due to the interest. So it's $120 plus $24, and that makes us have a total amount of $144. This is the amount Kate receives after 5 years through simple interest. Part D. Jane invests $80 for 3 years at 4% per year compound interest. Calculate the total amount Jane has after 3 years. Give your answer correct to the nearest cent. In the compound interest formula, we do not need to take the amount and add it to the principal. That is because the formula automatically does it for us. That doesn't mean we use the compound interest formula in an area that requires the simple interest formula. No, these are two different formulas. So we're now writing the formula for compound interest is amount equals P multiplied by 1 plus R over 100 close bracket power time. PRT has the same meaning. P for principal, R for rate, and T for time. So we're going to put each of these values in its correct place. So 80 open bracket 1 plus 4 for 8 over 100 close bracket power 3. So we're going to solve what's in the bracket. 4 over 100 is 0.04. So 1 plus 0.04 is 1.04. Take that answer and power it by 3. So it becomes 80 times 1.04 power 3. This is equal to $89.99. We would normally have rounded this off to $90, but we can't because the question says give your answer correct to the nearest cent. an investment of $200 for 2 years at 4% per year compound interest is the same as an investment of $200 for 2 years at R% per year simple interest. Find the value of R. So basically in this scenario, the formula of compound interest is equal to the formula of simple interest added with principal. So your equation should look something like this. So we're going to put all the values inside the equation. So the principal is 200, open bracket, 1 plus 4 over 100, close bracket, power 2 is equal to 200 times x times 2 over 100 plus 200. So first we're going to solve the compound interest counterpart. So 200 times 1.04 squared is 216.32. Now 216.32 is equal to 200 times x times 2 over 100 plus 200. We're going to bring 200 to the other side. So 216.32 minus 200 is equal to 400x over 100. 400x comes from the fact that 200 times 2 times x is 400x, and then you divide by 100, you should get 400x over 100. So 216.32 minus 200 is 16.32. 400x over 100 is 4x. Now we need to isolate x, so we divide both sides by 4. Dividing both sides by 4 is x is equal to 16.32 divided by 4, which is 4.08%. Yeah, I can see that I've used x. Just understand that wherever I have written x, is r, because the question asks you to use r, but I'm just so used to using x. Question 4. In July, a supermarket sold 45,981 bottles of fruit juice. Part A. The cost of a bottle of fruit juice was $1.35. Calculate the amount received from the sale of 45,981 bottles. Give your answer correct to the nearest $100. So basically what you want to do is you want to take the amount of bottles sold multiplied by the price of 1. So it's 45,981 bottles sold multiplied by $1.35, which is the cost of one bottle. You should get 62,074.35. Now, rounding this off to the nearest $100 is $62,100. I forgot the dollar sign. I apologize for that. The number of bottles in July was 17% more than the number sold in January. Calculate the number of bottles sold in January. In July, the number of bottles sold is 100 plus the extra 17%. This is equal to 45,981 bottles. So what is the actual amount equal to? So what's 100% actually equal to? So we cross multiply. 100 multiplied by 45,981 divided by 117. This is equal to an exact 39,300 bottles. Part C. There were 3 different flavors of fruit juice. The number of bottles sold in each flavor was in the ratio apple to orange to cherry, 3:4:2. The number of bottles sold was 45,981. Calculate the number of bottles of orange juice sold. So what we're going to do is we're going to first add the total of the ratio. Basically, we want to find the total ratio. So 3 plus 4 plus 2 is 9. So we're going to take the orange value, the orange sample size, which is 4. Take 4 over the total size, which is 9. 4 over 9 multiplied by 45,981. Put this in your calculator and you should get 20,436. This is the number of bottles of orange juice that was sold. Now part D. One bottle contains 1.5 liters of fruit juice. Calculate the number of 330 ml glasses that can be filled completely from one bottle. So the first thing we want to do is put everything in the same unit. The easiest thing I found to do was convert the liters to milliliters. So 1 liter is 1000 milliliters. So how many milliliters would 1.5 liters be? Converting it, so 1.5 times 1000, meaning 1.5 liters is 1500 milliliters. Now we're going to take 1500 over 330 milliliters. The reason we do this is we want to know how many glasses can be filled. So we're going to take the total ml over the sample size ml. So 1500 over 330. So 1500 divided by 330 gives us 4.54 glasses. So that's the number of glasses that can be filled completely from one bottle of fruit juice. Part E. 5/9 of the 45,981 bottles are recycled. Calculate the number of bottles that are recycled. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 5/9 multiply by 45,981. You may ask me why multiply. This is because of the keyword of. Of basically means multiply. So we're going to take 5/9 multiplied by 45,981. You should get an answer of 25,545. These are the number of bottles that are recycled. Question 5. David sells fruit at the market. Part A. In 1 week, David sells 120 kilos of tomato and 80 kilos of grapes. Roman 1. Write 80 kilos as a fraction of the total mass of tomatoes and grapes. Give your answer in its lowest terms. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to take 80 over the total mass. So over 120 plus 80. Because they literally said as a fraction. So 80 over 120 plus 80, which is 200. So 80 over 200. Simplifying this fraction would give us 2 over 5. It's because we divide both up and down, but divide the numerator and denominator by 40. So write down the ratio, mass of tomatoes to mass of grapes. So mass of tomatoes to mass of grapes basically means the mass of tomatoes 120 ratio ... colon 80. Now we're going to simplify this, divide both sides by 40. 120 divided by 40, 3. 80 divided by 40, 2. So the new ratio in its simplest form is 3:2. That's it, the question's finished. Part B, Roman 1. One day he sells 28 kilos of oranges at $1.56 per kilogram. He also sells 35 kilograms of apples. The total he receives from selling the oranges and the apples is $86.38. Calculate the price of 1 kilogram of apples. So what we want to know first here is the amount of revenue he received from selling oranges. How do we receive the revenue of oranges? So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 28 kg multiply by 1.56 per kilogram. So we're going to get the dollars $43.68. That's the amount he received from selling oranges. So now we need to find the amount he received from selling apples. So how do we do this? Remember, his total sale received, the total amount he received at the end of the day was $86.38. That means the amount of revenue he received from oranges, so $43.68, plus the apples, which we don't know, is equal to $86.38. So when you rearrange it, it's $86.38, subtract revenue of oranges, 43.68, and we should get 42.70. 42.70 is the revenue of apples, the amount of money he received for selling apples. So now this is equal to 35 kg worth of apples. So if this is equal to 35 kg, how much is 1 kg's price? So we're going to take $42.70 over 35 kilograms. So dividing this should give us $1.22 per kg of apples. Part 2. So Roman 2. The price of 1 kilogram of oranges is $1.56. This is 20% more than the price 2 weeks ago. Calculate the price 2 weeks ago. So this price is basically 100% of the original price plus an extra 20%. This is equal to 1.56. So what's the actual percentage equal to? So what's 100% equal to? So we're going to cross multiply. 100 times 1.56 over 120. This is equal to $1.3 per kilogram. That's the amount, that's the price for oranges 2 weeks ago. Part C, sorry. On another day, David received a total of $667 from all the fruit he sold. The cost of the fruit was $314.20. David worked for 10.5 hours on this day. Calculate David's rate of profit in dollars per hour. So the first thing we want to do is find the profit. So in order to find the profit, we're going to take total revenue, subtract cost. So $667 subtract $314.20. You should get $352.8. This is his profit. We're going to take the profit, divide by the total amount of hours he worked for. The reason we do this is because we want to find the hourly rate of profit. So it's going to be 352.8 divided by 10.5, and this is equal to $33.60 per hour. This is his rate of profit in dollars per hour. Question 6. One day, Maria took 27 minutes to walk 1.8 kilometers to school. She left home at 7:48. Write down the time Maria arrived at school. So we're going to take 7:48 and we're going to add 27 minutes. So 48 plus 27 is 75 because 8 plus 7, 15, 1 plus 4, 5, 5 plus 2, 7. Now 75 minutes is already more than 1 hour. So what we're going to do is we're going to take away 60 minutes from 75 and add 1 hour to 7. So adding 1 to 7 is 8, subtracting 60 from 75 is 15. So the time she arrives at school is 8:15. Show that Maria's average walking speed was 4 kilometers per hour. So to find average walking speed, so in general to find speed, we need to find distance over time. That's the formula. So the distance is 1.8 kilometers as it is given in the question here. And the time now. Now in order to find time, we know the time is 27 minutes, but we need to put this in hours. So 1 hour is 60 minutes. So this is in minutes. So 27 over 60 is basically the amount of time in hours. So 27 over 60 is 0.45 hours. So we're going to take 1.8 divided by 0.45 and we should get the average walking speed to be 4 kilometers an hour. Another day, Maria cycled the 1.8 kilometers to school at an average speed of 15 kilometers per hour. Calculate the percentage increase that 15 kilometers per hour is on Maria's walking speed of 4 kilometers per hour. So we use the formula new speed minus old speed over old speed times 100. So new speed is 15, subtract 4 over 4 multiplied by 100. This is equal to 11 over 4 multiplied by 100. Simplifying this is basically 11 multiplied by 25, which is equal to 275%. This is the percentage increase on Maria's walking speed. Calculate the percentage decrease that Maria's cycling time is on her walking time of 27 minutes. So the first thing we want to know is the amount of time she took using her bicycle. How do we calculate time? Time is given by distance over speed. Distance is 1.8 kilometers. And the speed is 15 kilometers per hour. 1.8 divided by 15 is 0.12 hours. Now we use the same concept except we use time instead of speed. So in order to find the percentage decrease, we're going to take new time minus old time over old time times 100. So now the new time is 0.12. The old time was 0.45. The 0.45 comes from the fact that we take 27 divided by 60. The reason we do 27 over 60 is because there are 60 minutes an hour and this is 27 minutes. So 27 over 60 is a fraction of the hour. This is equal to 0.45 hours. So 0.12 minus 0.45 over 0.45 times 100. Subtract this 2, you should get negative 0.33 over 0.45 times 100. This is equal to negative 73.3%. This is the decrease that Maria's cycling time is on her walking time. Roman 3. After school, Maria cycled to her friend's home. This took 9 minutes, which was 36% of the time Maria takes to walk to her friend's home. Calculate the time Maria takes to walk to her friend's home. So if 36% is equal to 9 minutes, what is 100%? So we're going to cross multiply. So 100 multiplied by 9, which is 900, and 900 divided by 36, which is 25 minutes. Question 7. A tennis club has 560 members. The ratio men to women to children is 5 to 6 to 3. Show that the club has 240 women members. So what we're going to do first is add the ratio to get the total amount. So, and then which is 14. So we're going to take 5 plus 6 plus 3, 11 plus 3, that is 14. Then we're going to take the sample size of women. The sample size of women is 6. We're going to take 6 over the total, which is 14, multiplied by the number of members, the total amount of members. So 6 over 14 multiplied by 560. This is 240 women members. If you get any answer other than 240, know that you are wrong because the question specifically says that it should equal to 240. So if you do not get, recheck your working and hopefully you find the error and you can correct your working and get 240. Roman 2. How many members are children? We take the sample size of children, 3. This is all in respective order, so children is 3. So 3 over 14 multiplied by 560. So again we simplify. So 560 divided by 14 is 40, and 14 divided by 14 is 1. So 3 times 40 is 120. So the number of members that are children are 120 members. Part B. 5/8 of the 240 women members play in a tournament. How many women members do not play in the tournament? So take the total number of women as 1. Subtract 5/8 from it. So the number of women that do not play in a tournament are 3/8. Take 3/8 multiplied by the number of women members, which is 240. So 3/8 multiplied by 240 is 90. So 90 women members do not play in the tournament. The annual membership fee in 2013 is $198 for each adult and $75 for each child. Roman 1. Calculate the total amount the 560 members pay in 2013. So the number of children is 120. So you take 75 multiplied by 120. Add number of adults is basically the remaining members. So the remaining members are 560 minus 120. So which is 440. So we're going to take 198 multiplied by 440. So we're going to take 9,000, which is a product of this, add to 87,120, which is a product of this, and adding them together gives us a total amount of 96,120. This is the total amount the 560 members pay in 2013. Basically, this 440 came from the 560 minus 120. This is because if there are only 120 children members, the rest are adults. And if the total number is 560, so 560 minus 120 should give me the remaining amount of members. And the remaining amount of members are adult members. That's where the 440 comes in. Roman 2. The adult fee of $198 in 2013 is 5.6% more than the fee in 2012. Calculate the adult fee in 2012. So you're going to take 100 and add 5.6%. This 105.6% is equal to $198. So what is the actual price? So what's 100% actually? So we're going to cross multiply. So 100 times 198 over 105.6. So 19,800 over 105.6 is $187.50. This is the adult fee in 2012. Part D. This club buys 36 tennis balls for $9.50 and sells them to members for 75 cents each. Calculate the percentage profit the club makes. So the first thing we want to know is the total cost, $9.50. The total revenue is 36 multiplied by $0.75. So they make $27. So what's the profit? Profit is basically revenue minus cost. So revenue minus cost is $17.50. 27 minus 9.50 is 17.50. So how do we find percentage profit? Percentage profit is profit over cost multiplied by 100. So profit is 17.5 over 9.5 multiplied by 100. So that is equal to 184%. That's the percentage profit the club makes. Part E. A tennis court is a rectangle with length 23.7 meters and width 10.9 meters, each correct to one decimal place. Calculate the upper and lower bounds of the perimeter of the court. So the first thing we want to know are what is upper bound and what is lower bound. So upper bound is basically, you could say that the maximum value of an object. So basically when you receive something from the factory, it may not be the exact dimensions. There's a room of error. So this is what upper bound and lower bound are meant for. So how do we find the upper bound? So we see that it's correct to one decimal place. So we take one decimal place as in 0.1. Take 0.1 divided by 2. That is 0.05. Upper bound meaning you take the original length, add 0.05. So the maximum length this tennis court could be is 23.75. For the width, it's going to be 10.9 at the 0.05. That's going to be 10.95. So these are the upper bound dimensions. Now let's do the same dimensions for the lower bound. The lower bound, you subtract the 0.05 because you want to find the least possible value. So we're going to take 23.7, subtract 0.05. That gives us 23.65 meters as the lower bound length. And for the width of the lower bound width, you take 10.9 minus 0.05. That is 10.85 meters. So these are the lower bound dimensions. Now they ask us to find the upper and lower bound perimeters. So we're going to find the upper bound perimeter. The perimeter of a rectangle, because the reason we use this formula is because they do say that the tennis court is a rectangle. So the formula of perimeter for a rectangle is 2 open bracket L plus W close bracket. So what is the length of upper bound? 23.75. The width is 10.95. Add these two together, you should get 34.7. Take the answer of 34.7 multiplied by 2 and the upper bound perimeter should be 69.4 meters. Now the lower bound perimeter. The lower bound perimeter should be 2, also using the same formula as in 2 open bracket L plus W, because it's also still a rectangle. So what's the length, what's the lower bound length? 23.65. The upper bound width, the lower bound width plus 10.85. Now 23.65 plus 10.85, we are going to get 34.5. Now take that, multiply by 2. That should give us 69 meters. This is the lower bound perimeter. And that's the end of the paper. If you guys like this, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I hope you guys have a good day. See you guys for the next video.